This is an across the plate view of David Wright's swing. And from the post, the main points of discussion here is going to be, well, what moves the hands? He states that he leaves his shoulder still and throws the bat head through the zone with the lead arm. Well, let's take a look and see if basically how much the shoulders do rotate, and also what is responsible for moving the hands. So I'll just cycle him forward here, and let's take a look. Notice now then you can see right from the very initiation. Do you see that shoulder starting to rotate? So it's clear here that the shoulders are rotating right from the beginning. He's not just throwing his hands with the dead shoulders around. Regardless of what he practices in his practice, that is not what happens in his game swing here, as we can see. So let's back him up here again, and I want to point out something regarding the lead arm now and what is moving the hands. Notice we got him back here to the beginning. See the bend in the lead arm? Now, for him to just throw the bat and leave the lead shoulder still, he'd have to flex that lead arm and then throw it that way. But notice that in this, the lead arm, the bend in the lead arm remains constant. He is not unflexing it at all. That lead arm has a bend, and it's sort of like almost like a fixed rod that is bent around to the knob. There is no bend in that lead arm coming out or extending at all. You see, it just maintains an angle. And this means, in other words, that all the way around through here, it is the rotation that we see of that lead shoulder that is pulling the hands around. All right, now let's take a look at another issue, and that is the rolling of the hands. Well, the hands, like we said, can't roll on their own. That becomes from the rolling of the forearm. And as we see here, I want you to see that during the pre-launch stage here, there is some rolling of the forearm that brings it down into the launch position before he actually really rotates. Right here, he's just uncocking the lead shoulder. That what we call the cocking and uncocking of the lead shoulder here. And now that we get to here, and the bat's now in the swing plane, notice that there is going to be no further rolling of that forearm, or the wrist, or therefore the bottom hand. Bottom hand is going to remain flat to the swing plane. It's going to stay in that same plane as the plane of the bat's in, all the way around here now to contact. It is not rolling after he actually pre-launches the bat. So the only really rolling that takes place of the forearm, that is the hands moving without shoulder rotation, occurs right here during pre-launch. As he brings the bat, as we can see from a higher position, drops it back down into the swing plane here. Now that's during the pre-launch before he really cranks into shoulder rotation. But once shoulder rotation is fully initiated, right here on around, the flat of the hand stays flat into the swing plane all the way to contact. Another issue we want to discuss here that wasn't covered in the post is the tilting versus rotation of the shoulders. I know there's a certain philosophy that says that the shoulders don't really rotate, that they tilt up and down on an axis, a lateral axis. I think it's been referred to like a Ferris wheel, where there is no progression around, so to speak. It's all on a vertical plane. So let's take a look. We'll just draw a little line here representing the axis of his rotation here, and then notice how that is already tilted. In other words, if we draw a T across the top of his shoulders there as they come down, as we're cycling forward here now, notice that right there, it's almost like a T-square now. His shoulders are right in line, almost perpendicular now here to that axis of rotation. Do you see what I'm saying here? So, in other words, now I'll let you just be the judge. Do you think that, in other words, that his shoulders are tilting laterally like a Ferris wheel, or is it rotating around more like a door on a tilted axis? Now, you can take a look at the shoulders here now, and just imagine now that he is in a middle of a revolving door, and his shoulder is the outside part of it, and the axis of the door is tilted. And I think that represents a lot closer to what we see here than we say that the shoulders are rotating on a vertical axis or tilting up and down without coming around.